lace up them fake shoes, and hit the ground running, okay? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. My last video where I talked about how to become a travel CNA. If you haven't already watched that video, definitely go check that out first. I said I wanted to make a follow-up video talking about how you can always get re-signed on your contracts and just how you can make people like you at your new contract, because I know going into a new facility can be so nerve-wracking sometimes. Like, who wants to be the new person? I hate being the new person. That's literally the most dreaded part of starting a new assignment, is having to be the new person, not knowing anyone, not knowing what to do. I'm just like, So I put together some things of what I do so I can always make sure the nurses, the CNAs, the administrators, the residents, everyone just likes me. I don't know. I think I just fake it till I make it, because that's really what it is. Because even if I don't like them, I'm gonna just fake it, or I'm gonna just stay away, so I don't have to fake it too much. I wrote everything down on my trusty iPad so I didn't miss anything, okay? The first thing that I always do when I start a new assignment is I go in very, very low-key. I don't say too much, I don't do too much. I do my job really well, but other than that, I just stay really low-key. I don't try to make myself seem, I don't try to make it seem like I know how to do everything. I don't make it seem like I know everything. I just really, really lay low and observe energy. And I feel like that's what really gets everyone to like me, because I kind of am like a chameleon at work. I like pick up on everyone's vibes. Most of the time when you're traveling, you're getting floated to all the different areas in the building. Each area definitely has a different vibe. All the workers that work there have a different vibe. Residents are different, so all the hallways kind of have a different vibe. So you really just want to sit back, observe, not do too much, don't say too much, don't make yourself too seen. In the beginning, okay? In the beginning, this is all for the beginning. Give it like a couple weeks of just observing, and then slowly starting to integrate yourself into the conversations, but still don't do too much. I had someone at my last contract, she came in there and she was one of those like, oh, I've been a CNA for 15 years. She acted like she knew everything. She was trying to tell the staff how to do their job. She didn't want to take criticism from anyone. She was just speaking up when she didn't need to speak up, and I'm just like, no, nobody liked her. They did not like her. They could not wait to get rid of her. Nurses didn't like her. CNAs didn't like her. Everyone was complaining about her to management. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's doing too much. I want to help her. But she was just kind of the one where you just couldn't help her. That's just how she was. And when you're like that, people don't want to be around you. They don't want to work with you. And that just kind of reaffirmed, like, you really got to come into these places like a chameleon. You just got to observe the energy, pick up the vibes before you start interacting or anything like that. And once you see the vibes of the facility, then you can get a little bit more comfortable and you can start showing a little bit more of your true self. But always tame it back still. Even when you feel like you're comfortable, remember, you're not staff, you're still agency, never get too comfortable. You've kind of laid low, you've gotten to the facility. From day one though, you should have always already been going above and beyond, especially from the beginning, because that's really when they're gonna be looking at you. Like, my last facility I was at, they gave me a training period of like 2 weeks, which was really weird. No travel assignment, no agency I've ever been to has ever really trained me. So it was nice, but definitely out of the norm. But in that training period, I was trying to really pick up and do things myself hands-on, so I could be done with that training period before 2 weeks. So then they're like, oh yeah, he doesn't even need any more training. He's got this, he's good. Because I know how to do my job. I could have stretched that 2-week training and sat back and act like I didn't know how to do anything, but then they're all gonna be talking about me. When it's time for me to re-sign my contract, they're gonna be like, oh, well, I don't know, he does just kind of sit back and doesn't do much. No, you need to be where they're thinking like, oh yeah, he's always going above and beyond. When there's a call light on, he's jumping up, he's going to get it. Like I said, this is the most important for right when you start the assignment, because that's when all the first impressions are coming through. And once you've set that foundation of like, oh yeah, he's a worker, then you know, you can have your days where you're kind of like slacking off, because every day you can't just be running a million miles a minute, but you do kind of need to do that extra mile when you're working as a traveler, because just be real. The management, the staff, everyone is just expecting you because you're getting paid more. They think you should be running more. And while that's not true, because I'm not ever gonna overwork myself. I'm gonna make sure my residents are good and make sure everything is top tier, but I'm not doing entirely too much, okay? But I am gonna be like working for my money, right? I never wanna be the person where they're like, oh yeah, they're always on their phone, they're always sitting down. Don't sit down, don't sit down. If everyone else is sitting down, don't sit down, don't sit down. At least for the first couple weeks, okay? Just always be on it. Always just act like you're doing something. If anything, just take a few bathroom breaks, okay? We all do that. The thing I always make sure to do, and making sure it's not in an annoying way, but like an organic way, is just speaking to everyone you come in contact with. Therapy, if you're working first or second shift, management, all the nurses, anyone, the secretary, just making sure that they know who you are, they know that you always speak to them. You see a resident in the hallway, always just speak to them, say hi, say how you're doing. If you see family in the hallway, because when I tell you word travels so fast, even with family will pick up and realize that like, hey, I always notice him. He's always saying hi. He's always speaking to me when I come by. People just appreciate that. You do got to get a little bit of your fake corporateness on, even though we're not in corporate. You just got to channel that just a little bit. Honestly, even if you don't want to get re-signed there, you still want to have them as a good reference, because my previous contract that I worked for 2 years before they ran out of money and we had to go, I still use that DON as a reference for me for new contracts, because she knows how I work. She knows all the residents love me, all the staff love me. When I'm going to a new facility, I'm like, hey, call this facility up where I was a traveler there for 2 years and see what she has to say. And then she can vouch for me. So you want to keep that going through each facility so you can keep getting updated and new references. And then if you do want to stay there too, of course, if you speak to everyone, you're cool with the management, you know, get in with the scheduler too, because the scheduler always appreciates and remember that time that you helped them out when they really needed you to. And just try to be flexible, and then just remember you're there for the facility and that check, okay? Just remember the check. At the end of the day, you're getting a nice coin, right? So just be a little flexible, be a little fake, you know, we all gotta be a little fake. So I just up my fakeness at work until I get comfortable, until the facility's comfortable with me and I know I'm locked in. But until I'm locked in, oh, it's fakeness up here. Going along with just like speaking to all the staff and family, definitely make good relationships with the residents too, because the residents are gonna speak about you when you're not there. They're gonna speak to you to other staff from different shifts. They're gonna speak to you when people and activities. They're gonna tell their family stuff, which their family is then gonna go tell management when they're in their care conferences. So you need to be making sure you're in good with the residents too. And honestly, it doesn't take much. Offer them a snack, offer them something, offer to help them with something. Just little things residents really appreciate, because so many of the CNAs are just like in and out, running. But at the same time, making sure you're doing that when the other CNAs are just sitting at the desk once everything is done for the night, not when the other CNAs are running around trying to get people in bed or trying to get people up in the morning. You gotta be mindful. Be mindful of when you're doing your little side quests, okay? You wanna make sure you're doing your side quests when everything is done and everyone else is chilling, so they're not looking for you like, okay, why has he been in this room for 30 minutes? What is he doing? He shouldn't take this long. Because even though you are helping the resident, they don't wanna hear that, okay? You help the resident with small little things later. Be mindful of when you're doing your side quests, okay? Overall, my main takeaway from this is just put on your best fake hat, fake shoes, lace them up real tight, get that fakeness pumped through your body, and just go in there, hit the ground running, and just do your best, make connections with everyone there. And I promise you, after your assignment, as long as you're a good worker, you don't do too much when you're at work, you take care of the residents, you do your job, I promise you they're gonna wanna re-sign you as long as they have a need. Because even when I'm not working travel assignments, when I just work per diem places, they're always like, can we just have your number so we can text you personally so before we post the shift, because we want you back here. And that's after one shift. So it's just like, be mindful of how you act, get that fakeness on, okay? Try to make connections with everyone you work with, including the residents. And I promise you, you'll be safe. Even if they can't re-sign you, you'll know you'll have some good references moving on. Good luck on your next assignment. I promise you, you got it. Like I said, lace up them fake shoes and hit the ground running, okay?